What's going on, everybody? This is Tom from Everything But the Camera here with Justin Riley, DP, editor, and co-founder of 9x3 out in Los Angeles. The dude does amazing work, and we linked up to put this together to kind of talk about some of the music video stuff you've shot, where you come from, and kind of the background of your filmmaking career and where you want to go. I like sharing this type of stuff because I want people to understand what it takes to get to where I am, to get where he is and hit with his company and with everything that's going on. Check it out, and please be sure to share this stuff. Follow him on Instagram, check out his company's page and everything. Everything will be down below. Let's get right into it, man. So, how long have you been in the filmmaking industry?
I started early 2011.
Yeah, and so because we were talking earlier, and you were telling me that you weren't into video at first, right? Like
No.
you said you were doing like audio engineering and stuff.
Yeah, I was a music producer, engineer in the Bay Area.
Yeah, that's so crazy to know that somebody coming from like audio moving into this. Like I started with video and skate videos. From knowing you a very short time, I can tell that you're the type of person that adapts, you know, coming from an audio background, from music, moving into video and stuff like that. That's a crazy transition, but it's not something that is completely undoable. And I think people need to know that. Like as long as you have like the creative mindset, it's easy to adapt, and I can tell that you do that. You were telling me that going into the audio world, you kind of had to shoot a music video, and you had to get it shot, but you wanted to do it yourself, so that's how you got your first music video, right?
Yeah, the transition was actually very easy. I was doing a music video that I shot for someone, and I asked someone to edit it for me.
Yeah.
And they were like, yeah, I need $3,000. And at that time, we weren't that serious. And I was like, I don't have the budget for that. So what I did was I hacked Final Cut Pro.
Didn't we all? I know I did, yeah.
Yeah, so I cracked it and I started editing it. And it literally took me 12 hours to edit my first music video. The transition from editing in Pro Tools and Ableton and all the softwares and music there was no difference. The editing was just a very simple transition for me.
Yeah, no, it's good to mention that though, because a lot of people think that, because they use Sony Vegas or they use whatever, it's all the same thing. It's all non-linear editing, especially going from audio too, like audio background.
Oh my God. Yo, I'm in the middle of an interview right now. I have to call you back.
Sorry.
All right, bye. Blooper.
So a lot of people don't really think about this, but a lot of audio editing, video editing, it's all kind of the same thing. It's all non-linear.
Exactly.
And whenever you were describing to me like the video that you shot and you were editing for the first time, it's pretty similar. And I think a lot of people don't think about it that way.
Yeah.
Because it's all copy, cut, paste, and then with video, it's really the video and the audio side. But coming from an audio background, do you think that you were at a disadvantage, or do you think that because you were so good with audio editing?
It was super advantage. You know what I mean? When I was doing music, it was all about the arrangement and doing the cool effects and doing the chops, and there was like super in that time period. Da 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 da. It was all choppy in the music industry. And then when I transitioned to the video, it was the same thing. I was always very well rounded with arrangement, and once I used the arrangement in the video platform, there was no difference, and I picked it up like that.
Yeah. So about what time did you take that video side and turn it into 9x3?
9x3 was created about a year and a half ago. Before 9x3, I was just an indie filmmaker, just a freelancer, doing a bunch of like hip hop music videos in the Bay Area. Sometimes for free, sometimes I make a few $100s, and that was like my schooling.
Yeah, and that's one thing that I always stress to people too, is you got to do some free work every once in a while.
You have to.
I know I did it. I did a lot of free music videos whenever I was younger. I did a lot of free short film work, and that's really where I learned. Would you tell somebody, like, what's a certain point where you tell somebody like, now you need to start charging?
I feel like once you understand the grasp of ISO, aperture, shutter speed, shutter angle, whichever angle you go, I feel the best answer for that is once you feel you're comfortable. Once you feel like okay, I got this, that's when you should start charging.
Yeah, and that's like the hardest part, because a lot of people aren't really confident with their stuff. But I think once you see that you can do it again and again and again, and you can turnkey and knock it out like really quickly. That's,
I think when people were telling me that I was good at what I was doing, that's when I started charging.
Yeah, and then like after that, like we could talk for days on how much to charge, but I think it's important to at least touch on when should you start charging, because that's something that a lot of people question themselves for, and I want to let people know that do it sooner than later. Don't work for free forever. Like that's not something I would suggest.
I feel don't overcharge, but don't sell yourself short.
Yeah, exactly. And that topic we could talk on that forever. So coming from music videos and all of that stuff, did you want to like transition to the short films, or have you shot short films or anything like that?
I've done a few little like sketch pieces.
Yeah.
I was never really into short films. I was all into music videos because I came from a music background.
Yeah.
So doing music videos since 2011 until about 2016, that was my schooling, like I said. So I never really had the niche for doing short films. But once I actually I feel like I surpassed what I needed to do with like music videos and the budgets that I was able to work with. Yeah. I was, I've learned a new passion of short films.
Yeah. And so you guys said that you are going to be working on a short film soon. Is that something you can talk about, or can you not talk about it?
I could somewhat talk about it. We are producing a short film, which is different for us because I'm usually the one behind the camera doing the editing. And on this particular short film, it is my wife's sister's short film. Mm-hmm. She wrote it, she directed it, she's acting in it. And she actually gave us the power to produce it. I'm the technical producer, and my wife is the everything else producer.
Yeah, no, that's good. It's cool to see the dynamic, because I met your wife. It seems like you guys got it, kind of figured out. I mean, I don't know at the level. I haven't seen y'all both on set together at the same time, but from listening to y'all's conversations about on set stories, it seems like y'all really got the dynamic down of like, I'm doing this, you're doing this, and working together.
Yeah, we definitely understand and respect each other's role. Yeah. Kind of like I told you last night, instead of stepping on each other's toes, we try to do it more like a dance. Yeah. You know what I mean? We try to just, and then when we do have confrontations, because it is hard working with your significant other on set, we kind of just pull each other to the side, have a very small conversation, and then we move forward.
Yeah, and that's like not just with a significant other, but like with somebody that you're a co-owner with. Like if you're out on set and you have a cinematographer that you're like best friends with, you could do the same thing. I've seen it before where somebody's best friends with the camera operator and the one guy's the director, and then they're sitting there, they're like, hey man, like no, like I don't need you to step out of line. Like if I want the shot this way, it needs to be this way. So I've seen stuff like that before. It's not just like significant others, but it's there's a dynamic. There's always that hierarchy on set, and sometimes big heads can clash, and the hierarchy exists for a reason, and I think it needs to stay that way. A lot of people don't understand. Like whenever I'm on sets, like if the director is doing something and if they ask for advice, I'll give advice. But if they don't, and I'm not in control of that environment, I'm not gonna give my advice. I'm just gonna sit back,
Exactly.
Unless I know them like that, So it's very rare that I'll actually sit there and talk. Like I was telling you about that stuff that I did with Yellow Wolf. Like I was very hesitant to like even show him, but the director, the guy in charge, a friend of mine, he's like, hey, show him, and he showed him. And they're like, oh, cool, let's do that. And I think hierarchy is something that I should definitely talk about a lot more and let people know. But on your sets, like what does your wife do on set?
Everything that I don't do.
Yeah.
Everything but the camera.
Yeah.
She is the director. She is the creative director. She plays a producer. She plays a line producer. She deals with a lot of the talent. As I'm the director of photography, I deal with the grips and the lighting and we both kind of deal with the composition, but I'm mainly focusing on the framing and the technical aspect on set, and she's dealing with all the creative and all the talent aspects on set.
Yeah, that's really cool. It sounds like we should definitely do another follow-up interview and have her in it.
100%.
Yeah,
for sure.
Because there's like we've talked about this before, that it's like I personally would like to show more women in the industry. There is women out there, and it's amazing whenever they're out there. It's just they just don't get the light that they should. They don't get there's women directors, and there's all this stuff going on that people just kind of like, it's not frowned upon. I don't think it's frowned upon. I just think that the men in the industry kind of are shined and pushed up.
It's definitely a male dominant industry. I think the coolest part about women in film is, it's always like, oh, it's a female cam op, it's a female producer, when it should just be like, it's a cam op.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You don't need to state that it's a female.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, female this, female that. No, it's just, there's no difference in a male operator or a female operator or a male producer or a male director than having a female director. It's just a director.
Yeah.
Right?
And it's a certain stigma that the industry needs to shake off. I mean, it's 2018. There's so much in the world that's changed, and in the industry, it's stayed in its like little zone. Yeah. It's kept its a little bubble.
Yeah. We're definitely advocating for women in film.
Yeah.
100%.
All right. So, speaking on people that are just getting in the industry that don't know too much about it, what would you say to somebody who doesn't own a camera and they want to start shooting some stuff?
You could obviously go buy like a GH5 or a Sony, but if you really want to learn a cinema camera, but you don't want to dish out 10, 20, 30, $100,000 for a camera, there's websites like ShareGrid or Lens Pro to Go that you could rent a camera relatively cheap, And then the cool thing about rentals is they count weekends as one day. Yeah. So if you rent on a Friday, that's your pickup day. Now you have Saturday, Sunday, and then return Monday, but that's still considered one day. Yeah. So if you want to rent a Red Cam, which you can find a Red Cam anywhere from $250 to $500 a day on ShareGrid, that's a great way to learn the camera. You don't have to buy it. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that's the same thing with like, we don't own a Red Cam. We don't own a huge cinema camera as of right now. We shoot on GH5, but if the budget permits, you could go on this, like ShareGrid, and there's nothing stopping you from renting cameras, drones, equipment, wireless follow focuses, huge 13-inch small HD monitors that you could literally rent. You can rent a Teradek system for $200, $200 a week, or you could buy it for $4,000. Yeah, but you can rent it for like $50 a day. Yeah. So there's nothing stopping you. And honestly, most production companies do not own equipment.
Yeah, no,
they all rent.
Yeah.
But a lot of younger people are like, oh man, I have to own, which owning is obviously good. You get more time to learn it and everything. Yeah. But I think renting is a great source. There's no stopping you. Definitely nowadays. Yeah. And the ShareGrid just released a new feature because they have like reduser.net where you can kind of like buy a Red Cam from it. Now ShareGrid, I think they're doing a beta version right now, but starting in August, you'll be able to now sell your equipment on ShareGrid.
Sell your equipment on ShareGrid?
Yeah. Man. And they take like a 7%.
Yeah. Dude, that's not bad at all.
That's not bad at all.
That's not bad at all. Right? That's like, that's definitely better than like eBay, but it's a trusted source, Yeah. Because I would not want to sell like a expensive camera on eBay.
Not at all.
Like just like random equipment and stuff, yeah. But I think it's important to really know that too, because I've actually heard of people, and people have told me before that they've rented whatever kind of camera that they're looking to purchase. Mm-hmm. They rented it for 2 days and they played around with it. They saw if it fit their needs, and then they made the choice. And
even glass, glass is extremely important. Yeah. Now we own the Rokinon Cine DS Primes, which are good lenses. Before that we were shooting like on Canon lenses. But if you want a Cook lens or CP2, CP3 from like Zeiss, it's really not that expensive to rent for a day or two. Even a week. Yeah.
And I've actually, there's a rental house in Houston. They show me like mad love, and they hook me up whenever I'm there. Yeah. But when like that project that I was talking about, I shot literally like last minute. I gave them a call because the lenses that I have, I feel weren't good enough for that specific project, because my lens choice is by project. Mm-hmm. It's not like my camera body stays the same, but every project to me needs different lenses. Mm-hmm. And so I called them up real quick and said, hey, I need some primes really quick. Like I need this and that and blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. And they got me taken care of right away. It ended up looking beautiful,
Yeah, it was beautiful.
Because I needed something, and I'm not about to pay, because I rented some Zeiss lenses. I'm not about to pay, $1,800, $2,000 like that, and just because I don't need an 85 millimeter prime every day. Yeah. I don't need it every day. I have my main camera, my main lens, and I use that for what I need it to, and I do rent whenever I need to.
Exactly, because like these lenses that we're renting for the short film that we're producing next week, the lenses value are $100,000, but we're renting them for 7 days for $1,500. Might sound like a lot of money, but it's not $100,000.
Yeah, and I think people need to understand that lens choice is so important. You can have a crappy camera and have amazing lenses, and it'll look that much better.
Yeah, the optics.
I shot weddings with the T3i for a couple years. Mm-hmm. I shot weddings with the T3i, but I was renting Zeiss lenses and Canon L series lenses, and it looked beautiful.
Of course.
Especially once you get faster lenses. The faster the lens, for people who don't understand what fast means, but the lower the f-stop, the faster the lens, the more light you can get in, all that stuff, and you can get some really amazing low light stuff, and also get some really amazing depth of field. And
if you are jumping into cinema, the Rokinon Cine DS Primes are great lens choices. I believe we bought our whole kit for under $3,000. Yeah. We got the 50, we got the 24, 35, 50, and 85. And cinema lenses, T-stops, not f-stops, they're T-stops. Yeah.
Which is with like the cinema style.
And they're full manual lenses. Yeah. And they're beautiful. Yeah. They might not be a Zeiss. Yeah. But it's the next step.
I'm gonna personally buy the 50 millimeter. Like I want the 50 millimeter just to have like around, because that's that focal length where I use that so much. 50 is like my go-to.
And then I think they have E mounts, PL mounts.
Yeah, they have it all. Yeah.
MFT mounts, they have them all, right?
Yeah, so depending on what camera you got, you can definitely get a nice set for cheap too. Like compared to like other Cine lenses out there, it's really good. It's affordable.
And we are looking at purchasing our own cinema camera. I'm not going to tell you the brand because they're not that popular, and we're putting our trust into them. Yeah. And but it's a beautiful camera, and
No, that's cool stuff, man. All right, so how do you guys like choose y'all's projects? Like how do you get your, the next thing, whether it be music videos or short films? Like how do y'all go about deciding on what to shoot?
Until recently, it was a lot of word of mouth. We shoot a really cool video for someone else, they would refer us, and it was a word of mouth. But recently, trying to get bigger budgeted films and working with agencies and working with higher end clients. It's all about pitching the proposals and sending them proof of concepts, proving to them that we are able to do that work.
And would you say that your demo reel is like super important in that?
100% important.
A lot of people, they don't even know what a demo reel is.
In your head. Sorry, I had to cut you.
That's fine.
Okay, demo reel.
A lot of people, they don't even think about a demo reel, but a lot of people, they need to understand that their demo reel is very important, and having some sort of website. Like, do you guys have a website?
Of course.
Yeah, it shows off your work and everything, right?
Of course.
Yeah, okay, perfect. Like, that's something that people need to understand, is that they need to show off their work, and then they need to be able to, like, proof of concept.
And then it shows that you're serious.
Yeah.
Because I feel like, obviously nowadays, Instagram is extremely important, social media is extremely important, but to take it to the next level, you have to show your professionalism and have your website. And we have like a blog, we have news, we have as much as we can about our company on our website.
Yeah, and that stuff is huge. I think it's super important that whether they're freelancers or they have an actual production company, they should definitely have a website and have all of their stuff on there. I personally have something in the works. It's not even like close to being done, but I need to put something out.
Yeah, and definitely just going back to the reel, when you're first starting out, I feel like the reel is the most important part. Even if it's 5 videos you shot for free. Yeah. Those 5 videos you shot for free, if you shot them really good and you put them in a reel and you send it and you propose it to a high-end client, you have that much bigger of a chance to land the job.
Yeah, they have to see it. And so one of the things, and one of the reasons why I personally haven't put together a demo reel in a while, is because my social media speaks for me, and I'm very big at advocating that to people, saying like, your social media, if you show off your projects and stuff like that, if you show off how big of a set you worked on or whatever, like people see that. The companies, you can show them, have it in your email, whatever, and like people will see that. And like, I kind of use it as an excuse, but at the same time, I need to put together that serious demo reel. I need to show off all that stuff.
But I agree though, because I feel like Instagram is one of our biggest marketing tools right now.
No, of course, it's huge. People can get clients off of Instagram. My whole business is built off of my Instagram following.
Yeah, it's a digital portfolio.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Like I've talked to people before. I've gone and done like seminars and stuff like about social media marketing for filmmakers, and they're like, what? You can use Instagram as a platform or like the portfolio? Like,
because I feel like a lot of people who are trying to jump into the film industry, they're not utilizing their social media in the right way. They're still posting pictures of their food and pictures of their friends. When if you go to ours, it's nothing but behind the scenes. Premieres that we're at, our work, pictures of us and our face, because we're trying to be influencers as well and be a huge part of the film community. But most importantly, your Instagram is a huge marketing place.
Yeah, it's something
definitely with hashtags and it's huge.
Yeah, there's so many different tactics.
The sky's the limit.
Yeah, there's so many different tactics to go about it. Instagram, super duper important. At least social media as a whole, super duper important for film companies, for production companies, for freelancers, for everybody. It's super duper important, and I think they need to know that. And I'm glad we kind of touched base on that. But let's talk about the projects that you're working on, or you have worked on in the past. I know you were saying that you did like a DMX music video and stuff like that. I saw it. It's really nice, and like I was surprised at the budget. Like I don't even know if you want to talk about that.
No,
like
that's fine.
The budget on that, like for you to tell me that we shot that with this much, I was like, what? Like seriously?
I think we had 6 hours on set. I think the total budget for everything, location, Lamborghini, plane, everything that we had. And shooting at a hangar at the Van Nuys Airport, $6,500, and we had 6 hours with a full crew, and it was rough. We had to cut, I believe, 3 scenes out of the video.
But that's so crazy to think, like here in LA, shooting on stuff like that. Like now I understand why you guys are steady, just filled with work. Obviously, you're putting out quality work, and you're getting referrals and people coming back to you. Like that's awesome. Moving into the short film side, have you ever shot short films before that weren't produced by you, or just music videos?
Mainly just music videos, but we also focus on a lot of fashion, high-end fashion. We shoot a bunch of international beauty campaigns and pretty big fitness campaigns and stuff like that. How'd you just
fall into? Did you just fall into that, or how did you get into like that high fashion stuff?
Well, my lady, she came from a fashion background.
Okay.
She was always into fashion. She owned her own clothing company back in the day.
Yeah.
And I used to shoot videos for her. She did the photography. And my big ticket beauty campaign here is when I first moved to LA.
Yeah.
I made a Craigslist post. Craigslist is extremely important.
Yeah.
Definitely when you're first starting out, even if it's my first, it was a photographer in Hollywood, big shot photographer, extremely big in Hollywood, and he was like, I need some free work. And I met him at this this grocery store in Hollywood, and we caught a vibe, and he said, yeah, cool, I like you, let's bring you on set. I did the first one for free.
Yeah.
I didn't even own a Ronin at the time, and I was so determined to have the beautiful shots that I spent my own money, even though I didn't get paid, to rent a Ronin from a rental company.
Yeah.
And they loved it, and then I was like, okay, cool, we're gonna pay you good money.
Yeah. No.
So now I shoot with them like 2-3 times a year. The clients fly here from Sweden. We do 3-day shoots 2-3 times a year, and we just have a great relationship.
Yeah, that's awesome, and that's something that I've never explored, was putting out ads on Craigslist. Let's talk about that a little bit. Like putting out an ad, like what do you put out there? Are you saying like you're a camera operator, or you're saying like
I didn't actually advertise myself. What I did was I go to like crew gigs, crew jobs, and just people advertise on.
Yeah. Okay.
And then I just replied, and they liked my work.
Yeah. No, that's crazy. I mean, that's one avenue that I think I should definitely get into a little bit and explore it.
I kind of faded away from it because definitely in Los Angeles, are we allowed to cuss in here or no?
Yeah, no,
okay. Definitely in Los Angeles, a lot of people bullshit.
Yeah.
And you're never, when I first started doing it, it was a lot stronger. Mm-hmm. Nowadays, it's just so saturated. People where they're just like selling the dream. Like, hey, we're gonna offer this to you. We're gonna give you food and IMDb credit, and then you show up on set and it's like they're shooting on like a T3i.
Yeah, that's the problem, man. Everybody gets a small camera and they think that they're big shots.
Well, it's definitely in Hollywood. Yeah. Everyone thinks they're somebody.
But the thing is, like, there's nothing wrong with shooting with a smaller camera, like a T3i or like a 7D or something. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with it, but it's about how serious you take everything else around it. Because if you're shooting with a T3i with a kit lens, and you're not shooting with any lights, like it's gonna look like garbage.
Exactly.
If you take your cinematography very serious and you plan out your shots and you got a good director, I think even shooting with low budget cameras can be huge.
Oh yeah, gear is just a tool.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I like telling that to people, because people ask me all the time, like, what kind of camera should I be using? I'm like, whatever. If you got a camera in your pocket, like, use it. Yeah. Just use whatever camera you have access to. Just be sure that you think about your lighting, you think about all that stuff.
I think all cameras tell stories differently, so we choose our camera depending on what we're shooting.
Can you kind of elaborate on that a little bit?
For like narratives, you always want that really good dynamic range. Yeah. So we're gonna go with something with like a red cam. Yeah. Something similar, depending on the budget. But I feel like music videos, unless you're shooting like $50,000 music videos, if you're shooting a music video anywhere from like $500 to even $10,000, it's perfectly fine to go out there with like a Sony or a GH5 or something similar, even like a Canon. But Canon, I feel, fell off. The mirrorless, the mirrorless industry is totally taken over right now. Yeah. So I feel like any camera is good for like music videos. It just depends on the budget that you're working with.
Mm-hmm. And if you don't mind me asking, like, how do you build that budget? Like, not specifically how much you're getting paid, but like, how do you go about, let's say I wanted to shoot a music video, and I come to you and I say, hey, let's shoot a music video. What's some of the first like qualifying questions that you ask to?
I direct
to get
everything to my wife.
Oh, okay.
I don't handle any of that.
Oh, okay. So I mean, that's cool. But as far as like coming from the cinematographer point of view, like what's some of the things, like what information do you need as a cinematographer to know what you're gonna light and camera movement and all that stuff whenever you get on set? Like what information do you ask for?
Budget.
Just budget?
Budget, you know, I mean, the number really depends on everything. Yeah. If they don't have a budget, we can't do much.
Yeah.
You know, we can't just make magic happen with no money, right? Money is a huge importance on set, I feel. One
of the things that I know in LA is getting pretty big is owner operators.
Exactly.
Like having somebody that owns a Red or somebody that owns an R. Like people will get gigs just because they own a camera.
They might not even be good.
Yeah.
But they have a Red cam, so they're gonna pick someone who is extremely well and understands composition and framing.
Yeah.
Who shoots on a GH5 to some rich kid who owns a brand new Red Scarlet Epic or whatever, you know what I mean, whatever Red cam he has. Yeah. They're going to choose him over me because he's the owner of a Red cam.
It's one of those things where it's like they're just flexing and they really don't know what they're doing. They just have a Ferrari.
Yeah, Reds are so trendy.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, and it sucks. I've been on shoots before where people are like, "You're shooting with that," and I was shooting with like a 5D Mark III. They just don't know the capabilities of the camera. They don't know if you light it correctly. You know, you have some decent lenses, you're gonna get some amazing footage.
What I learned is I don't even tell people what camera I shoot with.
Really?
When I was shooting on 7D Mark II, majority of people thought it was on Red cam.
Yeah.
I said, all right.
Yeah, no, because I saw the videos. They look really good. Like I would question it. Like, what camera did you shoot on? You know? Yeah. And in Houston specifically, the market's not that huge, but there's a lot of people. Like, there's a lot of rappers. Like, oh, do you shoot 4K? They don't even know what 4K is. They don't know what it is. They don't know what it entails. They don't know everything that goes behind it. But they ask, like, oh, do you shoot 4K? And for a while, there was a couple people that were promoting shot on Red. And so it was really annoying because I got asked a couple times for $500 budgets, are you going to shoot on a Red camera?
No
and
way.
I was like, no.
No way.
Yeah.
But in LA, people do that.
Really?
Yeah, people will do it.
Damn.
They'll do a whole video from the shoot and the edit between like $500 and $700, which really muddles the game. That's why Los Angeles is so saturated because this is a production company who does the full pre-production with the packaging, and we spend hours and weeks prepping for your video, then being on set with you for 8 to 12 hours to multiple days, and then coming home and editing everything. There's no way we could do it for that price. Yeah, you could work at McDonald's and make more money than that.
Yeah, and it's crazy that people don't take into account like not only the equipment that you already own, but the amount of time it's taken you to get to your level. And as far as like touching on pricing stuff, like whenever I've started realizing that I've spent X amount of time and X amount of years, not years, learning my craft, whenever people would say, I want to shoot this for $300, I have to say no. It got to the point where
That's my favorite word. I love saying no. Yeah. I used to not say. I say no all the time.
I used to say yes to everything. Yeah, and then it got to the point where I was like, okay, no, it's not worth it for me because like you said and you put it perfectly, for the same amount of time and hours spent to get paid that, you might as well be working at McDonald's.
Exactly.
And I value myself enough to know that what I know is worth way more than that because it's taken me years to get to where I am. And I think as filmmakers, people should understand that they're paying this filmmaker not only because he has the equipment, but he has the knowledge, and he spent years to learn that. He spent years to learn exactly how to use the camera or the exposure and all that stuff.
And if you shoot videos for people for $500 all the time, your referrals are going to be $500 or less majority of the time.
Yeah, and I don't think there's anything wrong with the $500 like little quick music videos, but if they start asking for Reds and all this stuff, like I would tell people don't do it forever. Yeah. Know when it's time to up your stuff. I went to a talk with Gary Vaynerchuk and Chase Jarvis from Creative Live, and I was listening to them, and Gary V was saying 10x your prices. What are your prices right now? Like he asked the crowd, he's like, what are your prices right now? 10x that. No matter what it was, he said 10x it. And I'm like, a little bit. It was like a little bit like called for me, but I would never like just 10x my price automatically. But I understood what he was getting at. It's basically understand your worth and put it out there that you are worth that. And I think a lot of people don't understand that whenever you put out those positive vibes, that it's going to come back to you. You know, people are going to pick up off of it, and people
and then once you shoot a bigger production, it's hard to go backwards.
Yeah, no,
it's really hard to go backwards.
Yeah, so
it's not even like when people ask us to do like little like rap videos, like, hey, come to the hood, we're gonna stand in front on a car, and we want you to shoot through a fence. Yeah, it's like we've done that so many times. It's not even fun for us, and we do this for the passion, not just for the money. The money, obviously, I think the value, and we deserve it, but we do it for the passion. We love doing it. And you can't stay in the same place for too long. You have to keep progressing.
Yeah,
keep moving
always, and that's one of the reasons why I backed out of music videos, is because in Houston the market was just flooded with people that wanted the same thing. They didn't want any storytelling involved, and I'm a storyteller. I love telling stories. I love sharing my knowledge, my information, and my past with people. And you know, as a cinematographer, and do you direct sometimes?
Yeah, I was a director.
Yeah, so as a director and cinematographer and all that stuff, do you like to kind of put some of your own touch on everything, or do you like, what is it a balance of with the artist and their insight and your insight as far as
majority of the time the artist doesn't even have an input?
Good.
They used to, but we've shot videos now. People just trust our vision.
Yeah,
they're like, hey man, we trust you. And then I could be a director, but my wife is a much better director than me. Okay. So there's no point for me to try to be a director when she's that much better than me. You know what I mean? So that's all her field. And I get to focus more. You know what I mean? Doing like striving to be bigger, and then trying to direct and trying to grip and trying to shoot and trying to deal with all the camera settings and worrying about framing. It's really hard to do it all and have a clear mind. So when you have someone directing you and you are the DP, you could actually focus on the camera. You don't have to worry about, okay, I need to tell them what to do this, and then there's no room for mistakes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that, and so like what you were saying right now too, because I've been I would say almost I've been a victim to this, to where the budgets were so low that I had to do everything. I was renting the equipment. I was renting the equipment. I was hauling it. All that. There needs to be a point where you say, and this is going back to like budget stuff, where you say, no, we need more money because we need to have more people on set. And I think anybody who's listening to this or watching this, they need to understand that there's a point where you can't do it by yourself anymore.
You have to have a team.
Yeah, you have to have a team. You got to find people. You got to find people that you can trust and that are really good at what they do. And I mean, I'm sure somewhere out on the internet there's somebody asking to help with something, and that's going back into like the free stuff. Like you started that way with a couple of the companies that you work with. I think people should definitely do that and take that as a word of advice.
And I still do free stuff. If Nike asked me to shoot a commercial for them for free, I would probably do it.
Absolutely, I would too.
Because you're going to get so much more out of it. Right?
Yeah, and that's another thing too, is like, whenever you get that free stuff, put all your effort into it. Like put every ounce of you into that, so then they can see that you put in the effort.
Without the money.
Yeah, without the money, and you'll get something back.
And if you do a good job, they're going to hire you back for a shitload of money.
Yeah, exactly. We talked a bit about like creating a team. How did you go about finding your people that you call out normally on set, like your gaffers and everybody?
Craigslist again is a huge tool for us. We found multiple gaffers, grips, audio people, makeup artists, everything. Definitely, not in other states, but in Los Angeles, you make an ad on Craigslist looking for a grip, you're gonna get 100 responses in about 2 days.
Oh, nice. That's really good advice to check out Craigslist or hit up Craigslist and build it. But what's like one thing that whenever somebody comes out on set, for instance, like somebody who wants to get into this industry, if they want to be a PA, what's one thing that they should have whenever they show up on set with you?
Just willing to learn. Yeah, willing to learn. I feel is the most important thing. Even if you're super green and you're not seasoned in the industry, just go there with a good intent and have the drive. Have the same passion that we do.
I think one thing too is not being afraid to ask questions. Because if you're around a $60,000 camera and somebody says to do this to it and you say yes, like, and you fuck it up, like, you're never going to be on that person's set again. But also to ask questions, say, hey, like, I don't know how to change a PL middle lens. Because I actually asked that question. I use that as an example because I did it. I one time was around some expensive cameras, they said change the lens, and I was like, I don't know how to change that PL mount lens, but can you show me? And I was willing to learn, and I was out there, so they showed me, and then after that I knew I'll never forget how to do it. You know, and so it was one of those things where I wasn't afraid to say it, but at the same time I had to have the confidence to do it. And so for anybody, you know, coming into the industry and being a PA, like, what do you think is the point where they should, you know, ask to move up to the next position?
Once they put in the work,
yeah,
for sure. You know, I mean, once you had yourself on set for some time, and you build a trust with the production's going to probably promote you.
Yeah. So, for instance, say somebody wanted to be a camera operator on set, because I've been a camera operator a lot, but it's all my own stuff, and it's all stuff with friends. But if coming into LA, you know, did you start off as a camera operator, or
I was everything?
You were just everything. So you just went straight in, and you were just getting you know, clients and then doing all this client work.
Yeah, I was everything. I didn't even understand the whole Hollywood scheme. I didn't know what a C-stand was when I got here.
Oh wow!
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was like, "What's a C-stand?"
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I didn't know that. Like, I obviously knew that the huge productions had like 30, 40, 50, 60 people on set. But I came from the era that we just did it all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was the grip. I was the director. I was the DP. I was the cam op. I was the editor. Plus set designer. You know, we lighting dude. Everything. We did it all. You know what I mean? And that's all I knew. So when I'm in the Bay Area, I felt like I was like making my way up. I was like, oh man, everyone was knowing my name. Oh man, Riley shoots dope videos. And when I came to LA, I truly got humbled, because I was like, I was back on the ground. I was the smallest ant in the world, and it was truly humbling.
Yeah.
And then, you know, I just kind of went to these expos and started seeing how Hollywood truly worked, and, you know, it was super inspiring.
If you haven't been to Hollywood or been on a set here, people should go. I really think people should go, because it's a different world. Pretty much like there's rules and there's etiquette and all that, and then here in Hollywood specifically on the stuff that I've been on, it's respected like a lot. And that like I was saying, like the hierarchy it's real. Like, you don't step out of line, and it's more relevant here than it is anywhere else that I've shot.
And even if you feel like the director is doing something wrong, they might be doing it for a reason that you never even thought of.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I think people need to understand that a person is in that position not just because they have been doing it a long time, but because of their experience.
Because I've had a PA like, hey man, you're out of thirds. I'm like, but there's a reason why I'm out of thirds.
Yeah. Yeah. Just like, go back there and hang out, and just don't ever do that again. Yeah, that's one thing that I've stepped out of line once or twice. You know, I'm guilty of it. I was talking to a cinematographer on a set one time, and I was just like, hey, you know, why don't you do that? And he just like kind of looked at me, and I was just like, oh, like I was like, it's his job, you know, it's his set, it's his lights, it's his vision, you know, and at certain times there is open for discussion, but in the middle of like the importance of everything, like it's one of those things.
I actually had an issue with the PA before, and he kind of like overstepped his boundaries in a lot of ways. Yeah. And I somewhat relieved him, but now I actually have a brand new intern. Let's go back to the camera op thing. Yeah. I just made like an ad on Instagram saying I'm looking for a cam op because I'm trying to be more of a DP. Now DPs do film. Yeah. Don't get me wrong, but I would love to have a camera operator work under me that I could train and I can mold, and I could tell him, okay, push in this way, let's frame this way, let's get the composition this way. Yeah. So right now I just got an intern. He's coming on set with me a lot, and I'm doing a lot of one-on-one time with him, and I'm training him how I want him to be my camera. Yeah. And for 6 months, I'm gonna have him do it, and in 6 months, if everything goes smooth, I'm gonna let him be my cam op for most of my jobs, unless I really want to shoot. Like, oh, it's like a scene. I want to do that shot. I'm gonna jump in. Yeah. You know what I mean, but I think as a DP, it's good to film, but it's also good to kind of fall back and put the trust in someone else. And
that's a good, like, even a business tactic, and a lot of things in our industry kind of relate to business and stuff, and I see it that way just because I've been on the business side. Yeah. But letting responsibility start moving away from you on certain things allows you to be better and to do more. And a lot of people, they want to hold on to that. You know, there's a lot of people who call themselves a cinematographer, but they still, you know, camera operate. They still do a lot of other things. And it's like, you know, hey man, let somebody else do it, but teach somebody the way you want it to be done.
I don't mean to cut you off, but I do not call myself a cinematographer, and I feel people who call themselves a cinematographer, unless you're part of the union, if you're part of the ASC, you've earned the right to call yourself. Now, we practice cinematography, but we're not cinematographers.
That's fine. Yeah.
You know, so we practice cinematography, but we're not cinematographers. Once you join the union and you're part of the guild and you're part of the ASC, you have earned the hours, you have worked the hours to consider yourself a cinematographer. Yeah. Now, there's a lot of people out there who's, well, I'm a cinematographer. It's like, you're not really a cinematographer. you're a cam operator, or you're a director of photography, which is perfectly reasonable. Yeah. But I don't like people calling themselves cinematographers, that unless you're a true cinematographer. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. You've earned those hours. Yeah, we all practice cinematography, but it's a little bit different.
Yeah, it's like in electricianship. You know, you don't call yourself a master electrician or a journeyman. You got to earn those. You got to put in the hours to do that. Exactly. That makes sense. Yeah. I've actually never heard that before. Like, I've never heard anybody say that, but now that you say it and I'm like listening to it, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. It's putting respect on the name. You know, exactly. Put some respect on it. All right. So what's one of like your favorite projects that you've worked on, or one of the favorite like videos that you've shot?
It's actually not released yet, but I could talk about this. Yeah. I'm not allowed to talk about the video, but I actually was just the director of photography of Janae Aiko's newest music video. That was really fun.
What was it? It's like R&B type stuff.
Yeah, R&B. But the video we did was kind of different. She wanted it very raw. Yeah. We shot it in like a sound stage, and it was supposed to look like a rehearsal. So I actually talked to the director the other day. He said, you're actually in the music video. So I'm like rolling around on my little hoverboard with the whole easy rig set up. Like, that's what I use hoverboards as dollies and stuff. And there's actually footage of me filming her from a B cam. Yeah. And I'm actually in the music video.
Oh, that's tight.
Yeah, so it's pretty really cool.
Tight. Yeah. And I'm pretty sure that's gonna blow up. She's got a huge name.
Yeah, her last video got I think 40 million, 50 million views.
It's gonna blow. Yeah, you're gonna be famous. Yeah, like that's really cool though to get to shoot all that. Like, how did you even get that gig?
The director, his name is Eyes. He's a good friend of mine. Yeah, that's a good friend of mine. We actually shot a music video a few years ago, and after we shot that music video, before I even owned a Ronin, he was very humble. And he's always had like the vision. He's very intelligent, and he barely knew me and let me borrow his Ronin. Really? For like 2.5 months without me even like contacting him. Like, hey, you want to buy? And he was really cool about it. You know what I mean? So like we just built like this really cool relationship, and you know what I mean. I refer him to like camera rental places and different stuff, and we always like send each other tips and tricks. We've only worked 2 times together in the past almost 3 years, but we've always kept like a really cool relationship. He just directed Janae Aiko's Sativa video with Ray Shrim.
Oh, nice. Yeah. So back to that specifically, like getting that gig from somebody that you knew. I think people need to know that it's important to network.
No, network is the most important thing. It's all about networking. Yeah. Even if you're going to mixers, Cinegear Expo, different type of expos, you're always going to meet with people. And if you're a people person and you approach people and you talk and you explain about yourself and also be an ear and listen to them, you know, people respect you, and that's a really good way to make networks.
It's literally how we met. Like like you hit me up and I was just like, hey, what's up?
Yeah, and that was social media.
Yeah, that was on social media. You can network on social media. That's another thing too. It's like going back to the social media side of things, you can network. You can find camera operators, you can find cinematographers or directors of photography. You can find them and you can get cool with people that you think have the same mindset or the same vibes that you want on your sets. And then you end up getting gigs or something. You end up like talking with people, meeting these people, and I think everyone in this industry and the people who are just getting into it, they need to understand the power of networking, because it's not just a personal tactic, it's a business tactic. It helps you grow, it helps your brand grow, it helps everything grow, because who knows who you're going to talk to,
Yeah, and it's not just networking in the film community, because if you network in the film community, you're going to actually have friends that are going to be cool with you, but it's not going to give you more work, because it's basically, it's friendly competition. You know what I mean? So you want to network with people who sell food, people who have restaurants, people who have small businesses. You know what I mean? We network with everyone.
Yeah, you never know who's going to need a commercial.
Exactly.
Like you never know who's going to need or going to know somebody. Like a good friend of mine, we basically grew up together, but he went a completely different route. He does welding and stuff. And he knows that I shoot videos. So I was in Houston for 2 weeks, and literally got a phone call on a Wednesday, said by Saturday, can you shoot this oil and gas video, like this and that, and it paid very well.
Yeah.
And it was like, we need it by Monday though, because we're presenting at this place. So because my friend knew that I shot video, you know, it was sort of that off-kiltered network where I actually met his boss one time. Like, we went out for drinks. Guy was, you know, hella fun. We got really cool, and he didn't even ask for a demo reel. He didn't ask for anything. He said, "Oh, Tom, I know him. Yeah." So I met him a couple times, and that was it.
And
so
he trusted you.
Yeah, he trusted me, and I did the job. I did it very well. They were really impressed. But it was that you know, that handshake, that hello, that network building that it took to get that gig.
Yeah.
You know, I was just sitting at home on a Wednesday, you know, posting to Instagram, and got a phone call, and by Monday I'm paid out and, you know, happy. And it was fun. It was a really good gig. Like, it was really fun, but it was the network that got it. And I think people need to respect the network and respect it. But one thing too is taking advantage of people or overly using people. That's
totally wrong.
Yeah, that's something that I know that there's some people out there that are very guilty of it, and they shouldn't use somebody. You know, you should definitely make it a beneficial relationship where both people can kind of gain something, but also a friendship too. Like, I'm very big about, like, if I meet somebody and, you know, we work together, we do something that's like a paid gig, and I do like them, I do want to hang out with them, I do want to go, you know, have some drinks or just chill.
Of course.
Like, just shoot the shit. I don't want to actually just always be about, you know, filming. Oh, can you get me a gig, or let me get you this?
No, I think relationships are so much bigger than just the actual job itself.
Yeah, it's just one thing that kind of ties it together.
Building that trust, because trust is such a trust is such like just a word thrown around so easily.
I think this generation, and not to like talk too much about like people that are younger, because I'm about your age, we're about the same age, but people younger than us, it's different for them, because they were I guess the generation was raised a little bit differently, and so the respect isn't that much there with my generation, and I'm not even that old. We're not that old, but it was a little bit more, you know, stern, you know, in the way that we go about relationships, talking to people. It's with respect, you know.
Exactly.
You don't immediately just discredit somebody because of one thing or another, or the way they look or anything like that. Nowadays, it's like people send shade or they hate, you know, for no apparent reason.
Just because it's online.
Yeah, just because it's like, oh yeah, so it's kind of like one of those things where, you know, I feel like I'm getting old because I talk about that now. You know, I talk about home mortgages and all that stuff, but like I talk about stuff like that, about the younger generation needing to learn respect and learn this stuff. And that's one of the reasons why I like doing what I'm doing, by educating and talking to people and letting them know about, you know, how important networking is, social media, all this stuff, because it all ties back to your overall goal of being a filmmaker and doing what you love and never working a day in your life because you love what you do. Would you say that as a filmmaker you love what you do?
I love what I do.
Yeah. Do you feel like you ever work a day?
No.
Yeah. I feel the same exact way. I don't ever work a day in my life.
Only time I feel like I'm working is when I'm editing.
Same here.
Sometimes when I'm editing, it's like the 6th day, I'm like, oh man. You know what I mean? So I gotta take a break.
Yeah, I think I have to learn how to love editing, and I need to sit and talk with like a high-end editor and maybe get humbled again.
Now for this short film that we're shooting next week, that we're producing next week, this feels like work.
Yeah.
Because it's not the fun creative, you know what I mean? My wife is doing all the paperwork. Film LA permits, insurance, you know, I have to call rental companies and make sure that we have diopters for $100,000 anamorphic lenses, and like it's just like ridiculous. I mean, so to us it's work because it's a lot like we're finding like porta potties on set. You know what I mean? Like that's like work for us.
Yeah.
You know? But on the regular, you know.
Once you're on set and you're going, all the creativity is happening.
Yeah.
That's
June 17th is my birthday. You know what I mean? And we're on set that day, and I'm like, oh my god, what a great birthday present that we get to be playing with the Airy Mini 8 power anamorphic lenses and Alta 8 drone in the air. You know what I mean? Like that is like the best birthday present ever.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, happy birthday.
Thank you.
Whenever it comes to that, which is in a couple days. Is there anything that you want to plug, talk about, or anything like that?
We just premiered a K-pop music video at Paramount Studios at Cinegear Expo.
Yeah.
We partnered with Film Tools and the C-Tech, and we premiered. It was cool. We did like a whole Q&A and walked around Cinegear Expo and talked to like Ted at Aperture, and we talked to Small HD, and we talked to a few different companies. And then later that night, we were able to premiere our music video at Sherry Lansing Theater. at Paramount Studios, and that was huge for us.
Yeah.
We did like a 30-minute Q&A on stage, and that was great for us. Me and my wife were on set, and it was a beautiful thing.
Let's talk real quick, because I was about to end it, but you said Cinegear. Let's talk about Cinegear, because I don't think...
I would love to talk about Cinegear.
Cinegear it's still small, but out of all the trade shows that I've ever been to, and I've been to every trade show, every NAB, CES, all that stuff, anything filmmaking, I've been to it because of the work that I'm in. But Cinegear is the most unique trade show that I've ever been. It's so chill and laid back, but it's still so professional.
Let me talk about Cinegear Expo.
Yeah.
Our first year here, we went to Cinegear Expo. This is before I knew about a C-stand.
Yeah.
What do you think? We went to Cinegear Expo, and we talked to every company, and we saw like the mass, just the huge picture of how Hollywood really works, and it truly inspired us. It truly inspired us, and that is honestly, and I even posted about this, like tagging Cinegear, and they already know, like Cinegear Expo is what gave us our breakthrough. You know what I mean? It was like, oh my God, this is how you really do it, and seeing all these crazy equipment and everything, and it truly inspired us. And if we didn't go to Cinegear Expo, I don't know how our inspiration was right now. Dude. So going there 2 years ago to Cinegear Expo and seeing everything, and then from that point on, moving different, working different, talking different, moving different, to now this year actually being a part of Cinegear Expo was
being a speaker.
What was huge for us, you know, partnering with them, and we're in like the Cinegear Expo book, and they did an email blast to everyone. I got the poster right there. Got the poster right there of the whole next generation film. And we got a bunch of free goodies. The C gave us hard drives and a bunch of cool stuff. It was an amazing experience.
I think people need to check out Cinegear. If they're not in LA or in the LA area, I think they need to check out a trade show around them.
Trade shows are extremely important.
Yeah, as for me as a business,
networking.
You network and you do a bunch of stuff, but you also get to see what's next. You get to see some cool equipment, and you also get to talk to people that are like-minded and doing that. And a lot of business tactics are always saying, like, surround yourself with like-minded people. Go to a filmmaking expo, a photography expo, whatever. Like, go to these things. 90% of the time, if you book it early enough, you can get tickets for free.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people don't even know that.
I got my Cinegear ticket expo. I got the tickets like 4 or 5 months ago.
Yeah,
for free.
Yeah, for free.
But Cinegear Expo tickets are free until like 2 days.
Yeah, 2 days before. That's like $35.
Like,
and if it's so worth it to go to Cinegear. The first year I went, I've gone twice. The first year that I went a couple years ago, it was on a whim, and because I was here for like VidCon, and then Cinegear happened right after, so I went to Cinegear, and I saw some old friends that I hadn't seen in years from the business side of stuff. I saw them, and we said, "What's up?" One booth straight up had a couch, and I won't mention the guy's name because I don't want him to get in trouble with the company, but he bought with the company credit card, he bought a couch. Because he said Cinegear is not to sell, Cinegear is to make relationships.
There's no sales.
Yeah. So he said, I bought this couch, we're just gonna sit down. How you doing, Tom? We sat there, we talked for like 45 minutes just in the booth while people looked at the equipment that was there. And he's like, if you have questions, let me know. And we just sat there and talked on a couch. Like, Cinegear is so laid back and it's awesome. I think it's very important for people to go check it out.
And just being in LA around Cinegear, so much stuff is going on.
It's on a studio lot too.
You got to go to the back lots of Paramount Studio. You're like walking around New York and all these, and then the day after, you go to Matthews. Matthews is in Burbank, and they have your whole barbecue garage sale, and that's where we bought our C-stands and our flags. And this year I bought a $6,000 Matthews Poly Dolly for $500.
Yeah, you get deals.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. You know what I mean? So if you're into buying gear and stuff, the day after Cinegear, you can go to Schneider. I think Hot Rod Cameras and Matthews, they all have like garage sales.
Yeah, that's
and then Tiffin, I believe, as well.
So wrapping everything up, is there anything that you want to plug as far as like your social media or your YouTube or your website?
I want to plug my wife.
Yeah.
She is the backbone of 9x3. She has been working on a short film for a year now. We just got everything done and submitted, and we're trying to fund $30,000 for the film right now.
Yeah.
And the short film is being pitched as a short film. I'm sorry, we're shooting it as a short film, but being pitched as a pilot for Netflix.
Yeah, y'all talking about that. I think it's a good idea.
So it's huge, you know what I mean?
And where can people find more of your stuff?
www.9x3.com. That's NINEXTHREE.com.
All right.
And 9x3 Films on Instagram.
Yeah, and then Riley Cinema.
Riley Cinema, and then my wife. If you're a woman in film and you're all about advocating for women in film, my director, my creative director, her tag is her handle is Alyse Kano, ALYSEKANO, and we are 9x3. Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much. It was good being here. Good chilling.
Oh, and I support this guy a lot. I bought his hat.
Yeah, that's kind of how. Yeah, I appreciate that so much, man. Yeah, the merch. Yeah,
it's all about the merch, man.
Yeah, no, but I really appreciate you and your wife, not only for just having us like at your house and stuff, but also for the support and talking. And I think we should definitely off camera and everything, you know, keep talking, keep collaborating as many ways as we can. We talked a lot about gear and like getting some stuff done together.
You should see what we did last night.
Yeah, that's gonna be right up which way? One of these corners. That video will be right there. Yeah, so check that out. Much love, and as always, guys, keep on shooting.